There are people in this world who have learned how to use specific words to spiritually unlock you, get inside your energy field, and attach themselves to your life without you ever seeing it coming. These are not random conversations. These are not friendly greetings. These are deliberately chosen words used by people who know exactly what those words do on a spiritual level and exactly what happens to you the moment you respond to them. Every word a person speaks carries the energy and the intention behind it. And when someone who practices witchcraft approaches you with the goal of getting close to you, they are not just making conversation, they are working. They are using language the same way a key is used to open a lock. And the terrifying part is that these words sound completely ordinary. They sound like the kinds of things any neighbor, old acquaintance, or friendly stranger might say to you on any given day. That is exactly what makes them so effective and so easy to miss. Now, before we go any further, I need you to get every single thing this video has for you. Every part of what you are about to learn connects to the next part. If you skip around, you will miss the full picture and the full protection. If you are short on time, just bump your playback speed up to 1.5 or 2 hex speed and watch it all the way through without skipping a single section. Stay with me to the very end. What you are about to learn is going to permanently change the way you move through the world. So let me start with something that is going to make you laugh a little and then immediately make you go very quiet once it hits you. Because the first word on this list is so simple that when you hear it, your very first reaction might be there is absolutely no way that is it. And that reaction, that disbelief, that sense of it, music cannot be that obvious, is the exact reason this word works as well as it does. Nobody is defending against something this simple. Nobody has their guard up around it. You would think a witch would need something elaborate to pull off what they are trying to pull off. You would think they need to be doing something mysterious or complicated. And sometimes they do. But sometimes all they need is one word delivered at the right time to the right person in the right tone. And they are in the first of the 3 words witches say to get close to you is the word help. Just that one word, help. 4 letters, 1 syllable. A word so sweet and so innocent looking, it practically comes with a tiny halo floating over it. And you would think that knowing this would make it easy to spot and easy to avoid. But it is not. Because the moment someone walks up to you, music, and says, "Can you help me?" something in you shifts automatically. Your guard does not just lower, it disappears. Because in your mind, a person who needs help is not a threat. A person who needs help is a person in need. And something in you, something that does not stop to think or calculate or evaluate, just wants to respond. That impulse is not a weakness. That impulse is part of what makes you human. But a witch who has learned to target people understands that impulse better than you might understand it yourself. And they use it on purpose. This is 1 out of 3. And it is the one that gets the most people because it hides itself perfectly inside something that looks like virtue. Here is what's actually happening in the spiritual realm. When this word is used on you with intention, when you agree to help someone, you are not just making a social decision, you are making a spiritual one. In the spirit world, agreement is consent, and consent is access. When you say yes to a person who is operating in witchcraft, you are giving them something they cannot take by force. You are giving them permission. You are opening a door. And that door does not close when the conversation ends. It stays open. It becomes an energetic bridge between your world and theirs, a channel that they can move through whenever they want without you ever seeing it happen. A witch who has built this kind of connection with you can use it to monitor what is going on in your life from a distance. They can use it to direct spiritual attacks toward you with precision. They can use it to drain your life force so slowly and so gradually that you never trace the exhaustion or the confusion or the bad luck back to them. You just start to notice that something feels different. Your joy feels flat. Your motivation has vanished. Your health starts to slip for no clear reason. Your money stops moving the way it used to. Your relationships' music start to feel strained and strange. And because you cannot see a spiritual chord with your natural eyes, you go looking for natural explanations. You blame your schedule. You blame your choices. You blame your mindset. You blame everything except the real source, because the real source looked like someone who simply needed a little help. Now I know the question already forming in your mind. How do you know the difference between a witch targeting you and just a regular person who genuinely needs assistance? And that is the right question to be asking. The answer lives in your discernment and in your attention to patterns. Pay very close attention to how you feel every single time you walk away from this person. Not how you think you should feel, how you actually feel in your body, in your chest, in your energy. If you consistently leave every interaction with them feeling drained, heavy, foggy, or somehow less than you, where before you ran into them, your spirit is waving a red flag at you, that is not paranoia, that is information. Also pay attention to whether the requests keep coming back. A witch who gains access through the word help does not stop at one request. They return. They find new reasons to come back into your space because every new interaction deepens the cord between you and them and makes it thicker and harder to cut. And pay attention to the timing of when they show up. Witches who operate this way tend to appear right when your energy is the most open and the most vulnerable. Right after a major life change, right in the middle of a crisis. Music, right when you are emotionally raw and your walls are naturally down, because that is when you are the most spiritually accessible. The most important thing you need to carry away from this first point is that your response is the entire mechanism. Without your response, there is no bridge. Without your engagement, there is no cord. Without your yes, there is no open door. The most powerful thing you can do when something feels wrong about a person coming toward you asking for help is to simply not respond. Not rudely, not aggressively, just quietly. A calm and deliberate choice, not music to engage, is one of the most spiritually protective decisions you will ever make. You do not owe anyone an explanation. You do not owe anyone a reason. Your energy is not available to whoever comes along and asks for it. It belongs to you. And the sooner you walk in that reality every single day, the harder it becomes for anyone to reach into your life and take what was never theirs to take. Now there is something that happens to people when they feel the pull of a shared memory or the warmth of someone who seems to know them. The walls come down, the logic slows, the heart opens, and in that small unguarded window, something can get in that had no right to be there in the first place. The second word that witches use to get close to you is built entirely on this truth. It is the word remember. This is point 2 out of 3. And this one is different from the first point because it does not come after your goodness. It comes after your past. Think about someone you know who has been going through a long and exhausting stretch of difficulty. The kind where one hard thing leads directly to the next until the weight of it all becomes something they carry every single waking moment. Imagine this person sitting outside one afternoon just trying to breathe, just trying to get a few quiet minutes away from everything pressing down on them. And out of nowhere, someone they barely knew years ago walks up to them. Not a close friend, not someone they have deep history with, just a face from a season of their life they thought they had already put behind them. And that person looks at them and says, "Remember me? We used to be around each other back in the day." And this person, tired and emotionally worn down, and honestly just wanting to feel some kind of warmth from a simpler time, says, "Of course I remember you." And they talk. And by the time the conversation ends, something has shifted that they cannot name. Something feels heavier. Something feels attached. Something is now there that was not there before. And they have no idea why. 'Cause on the surface it was just two people catching up. But what happened in that interaction in the spiritual realm was not casual at all. What happened was that the word remember was used as a spiritual key to reopen a door that time had mercifully allowed to close on its own. Memory is not just something that happens in your mind. Memory is emotional. It lives in your body. It lives in your chest and your gut and in the energy that makes you who you are. When you reach back into your memory to recall someone, especially with emotion involved, you are activating your heart energy. And your heart energy is one of the most powerful spiritual forces in your entire body. When that energy is opened in connection with another person, it creates a channel between you and them, a real spiritual channel. And if that person is operating in witchcraft and they know how to work a channel, they will send things through music it. They will pull things out through it. They will stay connected to your life long after the conversation is over. And you will never see it happening because it's all taking place in a realm your natural eyes cannot reach. What makes this word even more layered is that it works in two completely different situations. If you do have some history with this person, the word remember is designed to wake that old connection back up. Whatever energetic ties existed between you in the past, even if they were brief or small, get reactivated the moment you confirm the shared memory. But if you have never met this person before in your life, the word still works just as well. Because the confusion of trying to figure out if you know someone lowers your defenses in exactly the same way genuine familiarity does. When your mind is searching and your emotions are soft and reaching, you are spiritually open, you are in a state of receptivity, and that state is exactly what someone with witchcraft on their agenda is looking for. Either way, they benefit. Either way, the window opens. And just like with the first point, the protection here is not complicated, but it does require you to prioritize your spiritual well-being over social comfort. You do not reach back. You do not dig around in your memory trying to place them out of politeness. You do not feel obligated to confirm a familiarity that does not feel right in your spirit. If something in you is going quiet and watchful during that interaction, you listen to that. You trust that your spirit processes spiritual information faster than any thought you could ever consciously form. The feeling that says something is off is not you being dramatic. That feeling is your spiritual immune system doing exactly what it was built to do. And here is the thing that should make this very personal to you. Most people have been conditioned to ignore that feeling. They have been taught that social grace matters more than spiritual safety, that making someone feel acknowledged is more important than protecting yourself from what they might be carrying. But you cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot show up fully for the people who actually love you if you are spiritually compromised. Your discernment is not a social liability. Your discernment is your armor, and you are allowed to wear it in every single conversation you ever have. Choosing not to respond when something feels wrong is not rejection. It is not coldness. It is protection. It is you choosing yourself at a moment when someone else was counting on you to choose them instead. Now, everything you have learned so far is making one thing very clear. These threats are real. Music, are active, and they are dressed in language that is designed to make you feel safe right before you become exposed. If you are sitting with that and feeling like you need more than just information to truly protect yourself, that feeling is right. Because information alone is not enough when the attacks keep coming. Knowledge without tools leaves you exposed. That is exactly why I created the Spiritual Self-Defense course. This course was made for people who have realized that they are not protected and cannot afford to stay that way for one more day. Inside, you will learn how to cleanse your energy, break curses, remove negative entities, and build a spiritual shield around your life so strong that what we have been talking about in this video cannot find a way in. The course is on. It is priced at $197. And when you think about what you are actually protecting, your peace, your health, your relationships, your future, that number is not a price. It is an investment in the life you deserve to live. Check the link in the description and get access today. Now let us get into the third word, because this one is the most deceptive of all three. And it is the one that catches even the most spiritually aware people completely off guard. After everything you have already taken in from this video, you might be expecting the third word to sound ominous. You might be bracing yourself for something that would immediately trigger a warning in your spirit. Something that sounds, music, dark. Something that just feels wrong the moment you hear it. And that expectation, that very reasonable assumption, is actually the thing this third word is designed to exploit. Because the final word that witches use to get close to you does not sound dark at all. It sounds warm. It sounds generous. It sounds like something that could only come from a good place. The word is bless, or the phrase, let me bless you. Or I want to speak a blessing over your life. Something wrapped beautifully in the language of grace, goodness, and God. And that is exactly what makes it the most sophisticated trap of the three. This is 3 out of 3. Sit with the word bless for a moment. Think about what it has meant to you throughout your life. Think about the warmth you feel when someone genuinely means it. Blessing is one of those words that sounds like it could only ever come from a loving place. It sounds like something from your grandmother, something from a pastor you trust, something from someone who truly sees you and wants good things for your life. And because of all of that association, because of everything that word has represented to you in positive moments, your guard around it is almost completely down. Nobody wants to refuse a blessing. Nobody wants to push away something that sounds like it is coming from God. And a witch who understands the way spiritual people are wired knows this. They know that bless is the perfect word to use on someone who considers themselves spiritual, on someone who believes in God, on someone who has been conditioned since childhood to associate spiritual language with safety. Because when a witch uses this word on that kind of person, the target does not experience it as a threat. They experience it as something they have been waiting for. Here is what is actually happening in the spiritual realm when this word is used on you. Spiritual law recognizes consent. It recognizes permission, and it takes your agreement seriously in ways you might not even realize. When a witch says, "Let me bless you," and you say okay, or nod, or smile and say thank you, you have given them spiritual permission to send whatever they are carrying into your life. Your agreement is your open door. It does not matter that you did not know what you were agreeing to.